Hey everyone, this is Isaac.
And this is Jackie.
From Nonessential Media, and you are listening to the Beach City CROWS podcast. This podcast is all about our favorite cartoons, mine being Steven Universe.
And mine being Haikyuu.
Just a warning, this episode will feature spoilers for Haikyuu through Season 3, and spoilers for Steven Universe through episode 131. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Beach City CROWS podcast. My name is Isaac, and today I'm watching Haikyuu.
My name is Jackie, and I am watching Steven Universe.
And Jackie has actually watched a ton of Steven since we last recorded.
Yes, I've watched many a Steven.
So we should probably start with Steven just to get out of the way, because there's a lot.
We're recording in a different place than normal, so my apologies in advance. I just want to give a shout out to Larry, the lemur.
Yes.
You won our giveaway, as you already know, because we told you. But for those of you that didn't win, try again next time. Congratulations, Larry. Thank you for listening. Let me get this shit off my neck. Alright. Yes, so, as you guys know, Isaac only had 2 episodes of Haikyuu to watch, and I had many episodes of Steven Universe to watch, so I jumped in. And we're going to go over 10 episodes of Steven Universe. And these are 10 really important episodes of Steven Universe. Finally. The first episode, not so much. Tiger Philanthropist. Disappointing. Let's see. Which one do I like least? Rocknaldo or Tiger Philanthropist?
Ooh. Big yikes.
Yikes. By the way, I read this essay that apparently I'm stupid, because Rocknaldo is actually about how not to be an ally to the LGBTQ plus community. So, my apologies that I'm stupid and didn't know that. Tiger Philanthropist, I took 0 notes. Because they brought back Tiger Millionaire, but Steven wants to... Well, Amethyst decided she's done with it, because Amethyst has grown up a little bit. Good for her.
Debatable.
Amethyst started out at the bottom, so she's working her way up. And Steven's still wrestling, though. He wants to keep wrestling, so he decides to do Tiger Philanthropist and become a good guy, but that's boring. He's supposed to be the heel of wrestling. Anyone that's watched wrestling, obviously the people that make Steven Universe are wrestling fans. He's supposed to be the heel. It's not fun when the heel becomes a good guy. But in the end, Amethyst comes back and they have a good time. Is there anything else I need to say about this episode? Am I missing anything? I'm sure there's an essay out there to tell me what I'm missing, so if you guys want to let me know.
Me personally, I felt like it was an episode dedicated to people that liked the first episode of it.
Who was that?
I don't know.
They're still around? After 100 episodes, they're still watching
there's
this?
people that like Rocknaldo, so...
No. Well, they're entitled to their opinion.
But yeah, I felt like it was more of the same thing as Tiger Millionaire. I don't really get why we needed to have it, but...
My guess is to show the growth of Amethyst a little bit, would be my guess, because she has changed somewhat. We're going to go into these other episodes are really important, though. These are all plot-driven episodes, which I really like. Room for Ruby was the next episode. So one of the rubies, aka Navy, lands on Earth. And Navy appears anyways to be a very sweet gem who's just been bullied her whole life.
Oh my god, it's that episode.
Yes, it's that one. She even says something along the lines of, all the other rubies are mean to me. And so she decides she wants to stay on Earth because she doesn't want to go back to Homeworld and go back to the other mean rubies. Steven decides that she should maybe room with Lapis and Peridot. Peridot's more okay with this. I think Peridot is more open to change and more open to... because Peridot is still young and naive in a way.
She's like a pet.
Yeah, she's not feral anymore, at least. She's become domesticated. Lapis, on the other hand, is like, nope. Lapis is not at all about this. At first, I couldn't figure out why, but Lapis is actually trying to convince Navy that she should not stay on Earth, which is rude.
Yeah.
She's mean. She even tries to make Ruby mad, but Ruby can't get mad. She never gets mad about anything. She's just like, she's like sad that Lapis is mad at her, like kind of. She never really is affected or offended by anything.
Yeah.
Then Lapis has a breakdown, and it's because Lapis is jelly. She mad jelly.
Trauma.
She got that trauma, which is really what it comes down to. Lapis is upset. Lapis is still trying to overcome a lot of what she's been through, and she doesn't like the fact that other people can adjust faster than her. And so she has her little freak out Lapis needs help. She needs some therapy. Get that girl some therapy. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because Ruby was lying and tricked them because Ruby just wanted the ship back. The little Ruby ship. And blasted off again with the ship. Well, actually first tricks them all into getting into the ship with her. And then pushes them out into the ocean. I think the big thing with this is it goes to show he's too naive. He's too kind sometimes. Sometimes you have to have your guard up. He's a little too trusting. He just automatically assumed, even though they have fought against the Rubies, he still thinks that they can come around and join the good side. But some people can't, Steven. What, are you going to use that trick on the diamonds? Am I missing anything in this episode? Is there anything else to add to this episode?
No, that was it.
Yeah, that was it. But it wasn't, like I said, I think the big thing, number one, Lapis needs therapy. And number two, Steven needs to stop being so trusting. He needs to stop thinking that people are always going to be good because they're not.
But he is good boy and can't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Why?
I don't know. Hang on, let me go check on the chicken. Oh, it's so fucking juicy.
What'd you...
We're going to be eating while we record this podcast, guys.
Mukbang. I'm just kidding.
Mukbang. So get ready for the ASMR of us chewing chicken. This is all staying into this episode. I told you I could cook. You're like, do you have any food? And I'm like, I'm an adult. I know I come over to your house to eat all the time.
You're like, no snackies. I'm like, ooh.
The next episode is Lion 4 alternate. Go ahead, you can eat. It's fine. Maybe I should have put like on a paper plate or something. But Steven is rewatching his mom's video. So this is one of my favorite episodes, of course, was when Steven got the video of his mom. I'm gonna leave that laughing. No one's gonna know what we're laughing about. But Steven is really convinced that his life has meaning beyond his life, if that makes sense.
I mean, I hope so.
He's convinced. Do you want any, like, mayonnaise or anything? I don't have anything, really, but...
I think I'm good.
Okay, it's pretty juicy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He even asks, why did Mom want me? Not realizing that maybe she just wanted him. And not in that way. Oh my god.
What is that sentence? You are your mom.
You are your mom. Whoa. Anyways. God, the inside jokes that we say on this podcast that no one understands. Lion ends up throwing up a giant key, though. Like, literally just... and the fucking key just pops out of his mouth. It's pretty funny, actually.
So, that key... If you remember in the Bismuth episode, or even when Steven first figures out that Lion has, like, a portal... pocket dimension. There's a chest right next to where Bismuth was bubbled. So people are like, is that the key for the chest? Like, what's in the chest? Everyone thought we were going to find out, but...
We did not.
We didn't.
Did we ever find out what's in the chest?
No.
Oh, well, that's... Okay.
Yep.
Steven doesn't know what it's for. That's my next note. Steven doesn't know what this key is for. He tries it for all different kinds of things. I think he actually did try it on the chest. If I remember right, and it didn't fit. Well, because the key is, like, bigger than Steven. Steven asked Lion to go someplace new. Lion does not take Steven any place new. He takes him back to the desert where they found Lion. Which, this is also the desert where, what the hell was that guy's name that wrote the journal?
Buddy?
Buddy? Oh, yeah, Buddy Budwick. Where Buddy Budwick first met Steven's mom. And Steven goes in there, and it's, it opens up a building. And he's like, this is just Mom's trash. Well, he's there. He finds another VHS tape. This one is for Nora. And you're like, oh my god, who's Nora?
Dora?
The Explorer?
What?
Nora the Explorer? Steven then goes to his dad with this tape. And Steven's convinced he has a sister or someone like that he doesn't know. And Greg shows him the tape. And it's pretty much the exact same tape, but it's addressed to Nora. And Steven is like, what is this? And Greg's like, well, we didn't know if you were going to be a boy or a girl. So we had to make one for both Steven and Nora. And Steven continues to have this crisis that he's in the middle of. He's really hung up on his destiny. And his dad tells him, well, you exist because I want you to exist. Like, I just want you to be my son. You don't need to be anything else. Isn't that enough? And I thought that was a really great moment for Greg and Steven. And it's something that a lot of people, I think, need to hear, especially if you're a young kid. You sometimes think that maybe you need to be more than you really are. You need to change the world or save the universe or something like that. But really, you just need to be yourself and enjoy life and be happy that you have one. Yeah, so that was a good episode. Didn't really move the plot forward, but it was really important for Steven as a character, and I I think it showed the dad side of Greg that in the earlier episodes I was like, Greg is a terrible dad. And sometimes he still is more of a best friend than a dad, but I think he did a great job right here in this episode being a dad and saying exactly what Steven needed to hear. You're important, Steven, don't forget. Next episode is Dugout. Connie's dad is...
Dugout? Connie's dad?
Connie's dad is something else. First of all, he's voiced by Crispin Freeman, which was very shocking to me once I realized it was him.
Who is that again?
Oh my god, if you grew up watching anime, you've heard Crispin Freeman. Yeah, so, all the anime that I watched when I was a little tot... Okay, I wasn't that young when I was watching those shows. When I was a preteen, Crispin Freeman was voicing... And into my teenage years, Crispin Freeman was probably voicing the main male character in the show. But yeah, Connie's dad, I forgot he existed, actually, because he hasn't really been around.
Yeah.
She said, now I remember him being a security officer because she said that when they first met, that his job had made them move around a lot, which doesn't make a lot of sense because her mom makes more money. So, what the fuck, Doug? Did she move around with her dad? Because I wonder if her dad's been out of town because of his job, maybe, and she decided to stay with her mom now that she has a friend in Steven?
Maybe. Are we just missing something that they talk?
Are they together still? Really? I don't know. It's very interesting. I don't know. Anyways, Doug shows up and harasses Steven. My first note is Connie is Carmen Sandiego, Steven is Mario. So to get to that point, we have to talk about how they ended up in his car, his patrol car that he has. Because he's everything but a real cop. And he had some evidence that had been confiscated that for some reason is in the backseat of his car and he's letting his kids play with it. Get your shit together, Doug. They decide they need to dress up. So she dresses up as Carmen Sandiego, and Steven dresses up as Mario, and Steven is the most annoying thing in this entire episode. Steven, stop. Stop. Anyways, Doug is investigating at the fun park. I can't remember what it's called. It's the amusement park.
Fuck if I know.
Perfect. I'm not the only one. While they're there, they're chasing around something. They're not really sure who or what. It's causing a bit of a ruckus. They run into Onion. They're all convinced it was Onion. Doug, on the other hand, is a little bit skeptical that little Onion could have done all this stuff. Onion, meanwhile, is terrified. And if Onion is terrified, something's going down.
Yeah.
That's because it wasn't really Onion that was causing all the trouble. And the episode ends there, this little ominous note.
The story's finally progressing, guys.
My God. Well, see, I didn't realize that at the time, though, because the rest of the episode, I didn't really...
Feel like it?
It didn't feel like it, and then even that, I was like, well, maybe it's just a joke episode. And they're not going to bring this creature up again. But yeah. I was wrong. Next episode is The Good Lars. Really? That's how that went down? Oh yeah, Lars is the next to disappear. I thought he died in that episode. My bad. So Lars, Sadie, and Steven are invited to a potluck by the cool kids. Pretty much the point of this episode is Lars is a great baker, but he's really insecure about it because, Lars, get your shit together and stop being insecure about stuff.
Perfect. You're a cool kid, Lars, too. You just need to accept yourself. I don't know what this is in reference to, but I wrote down a quote. Which one?
When did you become so mature? This is said to Steven. Asked Steven, when did you become so mature? And he said, sometime in between summoning my shield and learning my mom was a war criminal. Boy.
Really? Because I didn't see it.
Yeah, I don't... Wow. Anyways, Lars doesn't go to this potluck. Or so they think he doesn't go to the potluck. Steven is running around trying to find him because he doesn't want Sadie to be upset that Lars didn't show up. I think Steven's just a shipper.
Yeah.
Steven is a shipper.
He really is.
He probably writes fan fiction about Sadie and Lars.
I hope not.
And it's really sweet too, and always ends in hand holding. Dude. What am I even saying? Anyways, unfortunately, they never find Lars. Steven and Sadie walk home, and as they part, Sadie's alone, and then the creature from Dugout's back. So it's connected. This is when I realized, oh my god, these episodes actually matter. Next episode is Are You My Dad? For fun reference, next episode is I Am My Mom. But Are You My Dad starts with Onion is missing, and the Big Donut is closed because neither Lars nor Sadie have come into work. And apparently, when there's a town of only 15 people, only 2 people can work at the donut shop. Steven runs into a creepy blue baby gem thing, like super creepy, that asks if Steven is her dad. Are you my dad? And he's like, no. But it turns out that this little creepy blue baby gem it's creepier than you realize. And this creepy blue baby gem, what is this? Aquamarine? Aquamarine is there with another gem. It's actually 2 topazes fused together. And they have fused with missing humans. So there's Sadie and Lars and Onion and someone else. Was there? I don't remember. Anyways, a lot of people are fused inside this little fucking creepy-ass topaz thing. I just want to say Aquamarine is probably, Steven Universe occasionally does some really creepy stuff. Aquamarine is one of those creepy things.
Yeah, it's like straight out of The Shining.
Yeah, it really is. Even has like the little doll dress on and everything.
And the little bow thing.
And then her gem is like a teardrop.
Oh, gangster.
Gotta represent. And then Topaz doesn't really say or do anything. This is finally the last couple episodes coming in full circle because the creature from Dugout and the good Lars is, of course, Topaz. Next episode, I Am My Mom. Obviously, this is about Steven because Steven is his mom, in case you haven't figured that out yet. You're only 130 episodes in. Figure it out. Aquamarine is getting humans. But why is Aquamarine getting these humans? Well, it's because Steven listed off these humans to Peridot many episodes ago. And the way he listed some of them was, my dad. So she's actually looking for Greg, but doesn't realize it because she thinks that my dad is the name of a human. Crystal Gems get into a fight. Aquamarine is fucking powerful. Mm-hmm. This was a shock to me. Of course, though, but that's how it works. That's how these shows work. You got something that looks cute and innocent and says creepy shit like, are you my dad? Gotta be the most OP character so far. I would think so anyways. I don't know if Steven Universe has a power chart that we could reference, but I would assume Aquamarine is pretty high up there. Yeah. So in the hierarchy of gems, where does Aquamarine normally land then? Because all the way up at the top is the diamonds, and all the way at the bottom is amethyst. So where? She's
pretty high up there. It might be referenced that there was others in other courts, not just blue diamonds. But yeah, her abilities are too strong to not be up there in the court. Yeah, and she acts more regal, kind of.
But anyways, yeah, the Crystal Gems try to fight Aquamarine, and they get their asses handed to them. This is probably the first time. The fight against Lapis was pretty bad. This is probably the first time where I was watching it, and I was like, they are not going to win this fight.
Yeah.
There's no way. Didn't matter if they fuse or not. It doesn't matter. Steven, of course, realizes what's going on, so he gives himself up and says that he is Rose Quartz. And he goes onto the ship in order to get everyone to free themselves. Steven bursts. Why do I take notes like this? I'm trying to pay attention as I take this.
Dugout.
Dugout.
The show does it to themselves.
I know. Steven gets fused in with Topaz, and then Steven uses his gem powers to burst the Topazes apart. Oh, you know what? The first time Steven gave himself up, he wasn't giving himself up because he said he was Rose Quartz. He said he was his dad. He's like, I'm my dad. No, you're your mom. So he had to give himself up twice. When he was on the ship, though, his bursting of Topaz allowed everyone to run away and free themselves, except for Lars, who was stupid and decided to hide. Lars is a coward.
Yeah.
Sadie risks her life repeatedly for this guy, and her life is on the line.
And gets nothing in return.
Yeah. Not a single
Not worth it, Sadie.
Sadie, get your shit together. Yeah, the moral of the story is fuck Lars. Lars, get your shit together, man. What the hell? Anyways, next episode. I'm going through these kind of fast. Am I missing anything in that episode? I think the big thing with this is it goes to show, it's interesting because at one point you had Lars, who Sadie's literally risking her life to save him. And he's a little coward and runs off and hides. But then Steven gives himself up to save everybody, knowing full well that his mom is wanted for war crimes, more or less, and that he is going to have to pay for that, and that could be bad. Part of that's Steven's self-sacrifice, too. I wouldn't say necessarily maturity, but just his self-sacrifice and his sense of righteousness coming through there. That's why he's the main character.
Yeah.
And Lars isn't. No one wants to watch Lars be a little bitch.
It's interesting. This episode is very interesting to me because I feel like we haven't really seen, in at least a while, a major threat to where not even the Crystal Gems together could beat them. So it's interesting to see how they would react to it now.
Absolutely agree. And I think that this is probably the biggest threat that the Crystal Gems have ever faced, at least that I've in the show so far.
Yeah.
Aquamarine is super crazy powerful, is 100% doing what she needs to do for the diamonds. Compared to Lapis, who's probably the other most really powerful person they faced, in comparison anyways, but she wasn't there to cause destruction. She wasn't there to do the bidding of Homeworld. I guess some people could probably try and argue Jasper, but Jasper really is not that powerful in comparison to Aquamarine or Lapis. So this is definitely the first, I'd say at the end of this episode, the sense of danger has been heightened. To the highest the sense of danger has been since before the cluster. So before the cluster was resolved, quote unquote resolved.
In 2 seconds.
In 2 seconds. The moments leading up to the cluster. Yeah, and Aquamarine's a very interesting villain, quote-unquote, antagonist. Next episode is Stuck Together. Lars is stuck on the ship and is a little bitch.
Perfect.
That's it. Next episode. Lars and Steven are stuck in Topaz again because that's the way they're holding people in the shows. They're just gonna be fused inside of... How does that not kill?
I don't know.
Like, wouldn't that... Because they're, like, fusing into... It's like...
A rock.
Yeah. You think that would just, like, asphyxiate them and they would die.
Yeah.
But
or do some weird thing where it's, like, so compressed that your skin just, like, rips or something. I don't know.
Wow, that was really violent. I was thinking, like, at least some bruises would come out of this, but nothing. Apparently, the hold is not actually as powerful as we believe it is. But I guess they're not really rocks, right? Because technically, crystal gems are, like, light projections, more or less. Or gems are, I mean.
Yeah.
Anyways, if anyone has any information on that, please let me know. I'm just curious how it doesn't kill them. During this whole bullshit charade nonsense, Lars kind of opens up about how scared he is and how he's a little bitch. And how he feels really bad about being a little bitch to Sadie, who does everything for him, including risk her life, and he runs off because he's a coward. So Lars opens up about being a coward, more or less. Beginning of Lars's character development. Finally. Lars is such an interesting one to me because he's a side... So my favorite character is the best friend type. I love the best friend of the main character. Every show I watch, every story I read, I love that character type. Lars almost could be that character, but he doesn't have the self-sacrificing qualities that make a great best friend. So I'm hoping that he's moving in that direction so he can become the character where I'm like, yeah, I really like Lars. In the meantime, Lars is annoying. Not in a bad way, it's just, I wouldn't want Lars as a friend.
Yeah.
He's just kind of a little...
Because everyone around him is sacrificing themselves, doing anything they can to get out of the situation. Like, this is... You have space aliens coming to abduct you.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you try anything in your power to go against that?
You would think, but not Lars. Lars opening up about his emotions and stuff has an effect on Topaz, who decides that she wants to help. Topaz is very emotional, actually. I was really surprised by that.
Yeah.
Really gets affected easily. Then they all fight Aquamarine, which was stupid because Aquamarine ass handles all of them without issue. Even Topaz. Like, what are you doing, Topaz? And Aquamarine tells Topaz, what are you going to do if I rat on you, more or less? You little snitch.
Yeah.
Little bootlicker.
Again, that gangster mentality.
It is. This is Nazi Germany. It's what it is. Anyways, now we're going on to your favorite episode.
Topaz.
Wait.
I love Topaz. Can I just say that? Topaz is best gem.
Is that for real? Do you want to elaborate on why Topaz is the best gem?
Because she's just so emotional, but, like, she's for Steven, Like, she understood the severity of everything, and she's like, Aquamarine's being kind of...
Yeah, it goes to show you, I think, that gems are not as cold-hearted as we kind of are led to believe, that not all the gems on Homeworld are like Aquamarine or whatever. But we've kind of already seen that with Peridot, but Topaz is the first one that actually has something to lose and doesn't really have a safe place to go afterwards. Peridot was safe when she went against Yellow Diamond. Like,
exactly.
When she was all the way on Earth, Yellow Diamond wasn't going to unleash her full force to go get Peridot. Like, that wouldn't have made sense. But in this case, Topaz is willing to sacrifice for Steven and Lars, knowing that Steven is Rose Quartz and is really the most wanted criminal in Gem Society.
Yeah.
So, yes, I'd agree. That's very true. All right, we're about to hit Isaac's favorite episode.
One of them.
One of his favorite. What's the other favorite episode?
I'd have to think. I can't think right now. There's so many.
So this is a top episode for Isaac. The Trial. This is a good episode.
This is the first time they're on Homeworld.
Yeah, it is.
Like, that's insane. It took this long to get on Homeworld.
It was a lot of episodes. There's a lot of waiting, a lot of hype building to get here. And it's interesting that Steven even has the right to trial, because I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of a little bit biased, because he's on trial for killing one of the diamonds, and the judges are the diamonds. Okay,
yeah.
Not very fair.
Who are still very, very hurt by what happened.
Yeah, they really are. Especially... Now, what's interesting to me is, I think we talked about this before, how Yellow Diamond is like this stern, angry, like, bitterness about what happened to Pink Diamond. And then Blue is like this overwhelming sadness and grief and sorrow. Both two different types of grief, I should say, but definitely handling it differently. Yeah, so Steven is on trial against the Diamonds. He's on Homeworld. He gets assigned a lawyer who is...
Zircon.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. The size difference between little Steven and the Diamonds.
I know.
One of the witnesses is actually Eyeball Ruby, who says that Steven admitted to being Rose Quartz. What kind of witness is that? There's no other witnesses for this entire thing. Either you couldn't find any other witness to Rose Quartz shattering Pink Diamond. And in fact, Blue even asks, how was Pink shattered? Like, how? How did you shatter Pink Diamond? And I'm wondering, too, how did Rose Quartz shatter Pink Diamond?
I just love it, because it's like, really, iRuby?
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't have found a better person.
No, we found this thing floating in space and decided that was the best witness you had. But really, are there any witnesses? Now, they claim there are. They say that. What happened to them? Did Rose Quartz kill all of them? I don't know. They are not around to be a witness, obviously, so I guess they died in the Gem War. Anyway, Steven tells a bunch of BS to Blue. He really kind of lays it on. Oh, yeah, I guess I did this, and it probably went like that. Steven admits to it, though. He's like, yeah, I did it. It's almost like he just wants to get it over with. Like, I don't know if he thinks that they're going to be as forgiving as he is. They're not.
I think they're ready to destroy, annihilate.
If you can hear my dogs playing in the background, I apologize. It just gets more intense. Of course, they want to annihilate Rose Quartz because they've annihilated entire civilizations. What's stopping them from annihilating one little freaking punk kid, you know?
Yeah.
Nothing. But the attorney, Steven's attorney, starts to argue that Pink could not have been shattered, which is really interesting, and goes through the scenario. How did Rose Quartz sneak up on Pink Diamond? This is a massive difference in hierarchy, a massive difference in class, a massive difference in power. How did Rose Quartz sneak up on Pink Diamond and shatter Pink Diamond? How? How is that possible? Especially, allegedly, so many people witnessed this. All of Pink Diamond's servants, more or less, were there and saw it happen. How? How did no one stop this from happening? It doesn't make any sense. And in fact, the attorney gets a little bit ahead of herself and even blames the Diamonds and says that the only person that could possibly shatter a diamond and get away with it would be another diamond. And I'm like, what? Well, first of all, there's one diamond we haven't seen yet. We haven't seen White Diamond.
Yeah.
But I am also this suddenly pokes a lot of holes into what we have believed to be the truth, that Rose Quartz would shatter Pink Diamond. Now I'm kind of wondering if that's not really the truth. Yellow Diamond gets freaking livid, though, because Yellow Diamond has anger issues.
Oh, yeah.
Yellow Diamond needs to see a lot of people in this show need to see a therapist, Yellow Diamond included.
Just one collective group therapy
Yes,
session.
Exactly. But it kind of makes sense, because, I mean, imagine being accused of killing... I don't know their relationship exactly. I guess, like, it's almost like a sorority, like a sisterhood. BFFs, lesbian lovers. I don't know, one of those things. Yellow Diamond's really upset about this, though. Stephen Lars managed to escape in this chaos. But, yeah, so why don't you talk to me about the trial? This is, like, your episode. So you were so stoked when I got... You were hyping the trial up. I think episode 1, you were like, wait till you get to the trial. And I agree, this was a really good episode, and there was a lot of hype. And... it did show us a lot of... You already have one toy out. You don't need another one.
They're like, which one can I make more noise with? I just love everything about it. Like, the art, the choice of background, the storyboarding. Like, you really get that feel that Steven is going to be on trial. Like, this is the most serious this show has been right now.
Oh, by far. I mean, he's in front of 2 diamonds on Homeworld.
He's literally... with
no backup. Lars, what is he going to do?
Yeah, he's facing judgment. I'm getting goosebumps in this moment. Like, what does Steven do in this moment? This is the judgment moment for him.
Absolutely.
And like you said, nobody's around to help him.
Because he's always had backup.
Yeah.
This is the first time he really hasn't had backup.
Yeah.
Lars does not count as backup. I'm just throwing it out there.
I just love that moment when he first enters that little room with Zircon. For Zircon to kind of collect all of her data and her thoughts and how she's going to present her story and Steven's story to the Diamonds. Mm-hmm. She's just really frantic, and it puts you in that mindset like, whoa, this is serious. And then sure enough, she's like, when that door opens, you're going on trial. And then the door opens and you're like, crap. Like, and the black background with like the pink, it's almost like, if anyone that knows Photoshop, it's almost like you put a pink layer, like noise filter. Like it just looks noisy. And then the rest of the screen is black in the background. And it's like, it puts you into how serious this really is.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Yeah, I love that it was... Yeah, I agree with like the color direction. We talked about this before in the podcast, how important color direction and stuff is. And they do such a good job of it. Almost feels like, number one, the angles and stuff they use in storyboarding really gives the sense of height and power that the diamonds have over little Steven. There's a lot of angles used there. But yeah, the color direction and stuff, it almost feels suffocating in a way.
Yeah.
It was a top... You can tell they knew this was an important episode.
Yeah.
You can tell. Like, not that the other episodes don't do as good of a job. It just is they took it up one notch further with this episode to really lay it on. For sure.
And I felt like this is... I don't want to say first time, but maybe like one of many times, I guess, that they were actually like, oh, we could keep playing up these diamonds and like, what's going to happen next? And... just really getting into that meat and potatoes of writing and like that really cool moment where you have this story and you could just keep writing whatever you want. And where is the story going to take? Like, where's it going to go? Where are the characters going to take it, Yeah,
this almost could have been a first episode for me. Like, they could have started with this episode, and I would have been hooked right away without even knowing anything and just had so many questions.
Yeah, that would have been perfect.
Yeah, it's an attention grabber, for sure. The sense of danger and the sense of anticipation are both the highest they've ever been.
Yeah.
For sure. Even though Steven and Lars managed to escape, mainly because Yellow Diamond and Blue Diamond lose their shit, they're still like, now what?
Yeah.
Like,
they're fugitives.
Yeah. Out on homeworld. Like, where are you gonna go? You're long fucking ways from Earth.
I just remember when these aired and I was watching it, I was thinking the entire time, like, this is the first time where I'm like, how are they gonna get out of there?
Yeah.
Like, what's gonna happen? What's next?
Definitely. It was a great episode. It was probably my favorite episode so far. One of my favorite episodes. Probably my favorite episode in this batch, and this was a good, solid batch. The only episode that I didn't like in this batch was Tiger Philanthropist. Everything else I really, really liked. And that sense of danger continues in Off Color, which is the next episode, where Lars and Steven end up... Well, I guess they're surrounded by a bunch of off-color gems.
Yeah, and it's interesting they use the term off-color for sort of like misfits, I guess.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, color direction and colors play a big part in gem society.
Definitely. And they play a big part in the show, and you can tell because the colors around them are so drab and dreary, and it has that, again, it comes back to that sense of suffocation, that sense of despair is really kind of there around them, but then also around them are these off-color gems, which are not so drab and dreary, except for one that we'll get to. They get scanned by a quarter orange. I called it a quarter orange, because that's what it looked like a piece of quarter orange. And it senses Steven's gem, but doesn't sense anything on Lars. So obviously this is like a gem sensor, and it attacks. Steven and Lars decide to run. They're saved by the defective gems, the off-colors. I call them defective gems. I don't really know if there's a term for them. They're not perfect. They're weird fusions, or there's something wrong with them. There was like a sapphire that, I think it was a sapphire anyways, what the heck? That predicted stuff after it happened. Like, are you stupid? Like, stuff would happen, and she's like, this is gonna happen.
Pad Paracha, I think is her name.
Yeah. There's also this Quaker Oats looking motherfucker who speaks so slow. I am Quaker Oats. And I'm like, oh my god.
That was not a good time to drink water right there. Quaker Oats.
It looks like the Quaker Oats thing.
It does, the hair.
Oh my god. Oh. And I imagine that if the Quaker Oats box could talk, that's about the speed it would talk. So, what is the name of that one again?
Fluorite. I just imagine it like cleaning teeth.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's like, anyways. But while they're all hanging out with these off-colors, some more quarter oranges come up and start scanning them. And they all freak out. Lars realizes that, of course, if he gets scanned, it doesn't recognize that he's there, so he starts jumping in front. Lars suddenly became a badass.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if Lars just realized he had no choice, but he is throwing himself in front of these gems to make sure that they don't get scanned. And then he even goes so far as to fight one of the scanners, like literally beat it up. Unfortunately, it blows up on him. R.I.P. Lars. Literally R.I.P. Lars. He's thrown into a fucking cliffside, falls, I don't know how far that was, 10, 15 feet, and boop, bounces his little head off of a rock.
Oh, dead.
Dead. At least we believe he's dead. He's deceased. Allegedly deceased.
Cancelled.
Lars has been cancelled. Sorry, Lars, you don't get to bake any more cakes. But it's okay because Steven's upset, so he cries. This is huge, though, because, like I was saying, it's like, Lars' character development all just happened right there. Like, he went from being a little scaredy brat to literally sacrificing... I'm waiting till the dogs are done. No, you don't need another one.
I love this.
He went from being a scared little brat to literally sacrificing his life. Number one, why couldn't you do this for Sadie?
Yeah.
Come on, Lars! Anyways... But he can do it for some gems he just met. He literally died. I mean, he sacrificed his life for some gems. So Lars is a completely different. Well, he's dead. But not anymore. I forgot. Yeah. So Steven cries. His tears bring Lars back to life. Lars has a color change though, because apparently when things die and are brought back to life by rose quartz power, they become pink as well. So, but Lars is dead and back again.
Yeah.
So what a journey these 10 episodes were, and what a journey for Lars. This was like the Lars chunk of episodes right here.
Yeah, this was like the Lars / first Diamond arc.
Yeah, it really,
I guess.
yeah, for sure.
It's weird though because Steven heals with his saliva.
Mm-hmm. Because that was the thing, was that he couldn't heal with his tears. That was like a rose thing.
That was like his mom, and then turned in for him saliva. Like,
yeah.
So you wouldn't think, you know.
But maybe it's because they were genuine tears of despair. I mean, he definitely... Steven's already a soft kid, but on top of that, Lars is one of his friends. He is pretty close to Lars. I think he's closer to Lars than anyone besides Sadie, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure, like, Steven's like 14 years old. You just watched somebody die.
Yeah.
That's kind of traumatic.
Yeah.
Even my dog thought it was traumatic. I had to bark about it. This is gonna be a fun... If you're listening to this episode, this is why you guys love us, right? Because we eat our food and you can hear our dogs, because we're living a real life. Yeah, what a batch of episodes, guys. This is probably my favorite 10 episodes so far of the series. Lars' death might be one of the most violent things I've ever seen in a children's show.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen something so explicitly shown. That was, like, very obvious that, I mean, they couldn't go so far as to have the, like, dead open eyes and the twitches of death and all that fun stuff that you see when you see somebody die, because that's really fucked up to animate that. But I can't think of a time that I have, in my life, I've watched a lot of cartoons. I haven't really recently, but can't think of a time when it was so obvious. Maybe the murder-suicide at the end of Korra.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That and the Queen in... This is all
Korra.
spoilers for Korra. I'm so sorry, guys. There's some things in Legend of Korra that were pretty... But, I mean, we saw the impact that killed him, which was pretty crazy. They were kind of pushing the line a little bit there with that.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that they brought him back in the same episode. I almost wish they wouldn't have. He was unconscious for all of, like, 10 seconds. They could have stretched that out to 30 seconds if they would have just let him stay dead into the next episode.
I would think from Cartoon Network's standpoint, it wouldn't really be a good idea to show kids, this person died, okay, he's back to life. Like, I think they needed to kind of have that moment where it's like all in the same episode, you know? Because it's like, the odds of, like, say it's just some kid watching it while it's airing and isn't going to watch the next episode. It's like, okay, so this character's just dead, that's it, you know?
Yeah, and no, that makes sense, and I can imagine just getting that through the censors was probably a little bit of a pain to begin with. Like I said, having that very clear, like, you know the moment that he dies, like, it's very clear. So, but, yeah, those 2 episodes, man, doozies. The absolute doozies of episodes. And the build up to it all was really good. The show is sprinting full speed right now, which is nice. Anyways, that's my 10 episodes of Steven Universe.
Now we are on to the last 2 episodes in season 3 for Haikyuu. Can I just say, these episodes, they have a lot of emotion in them, and a lot of intensity. Yeah.
That's a good summary, yeah.
Yeah, it just makes you want to, like, at the end of it all, I'm gonna get into it. So episode 9 is called Fools for Volleyball. And these are the last 2 episodes. You're already thinking, like, okay, this is pretty much the conclusion of everything so far. Perfect title, I feel like. So right off the bat, one of the first scenes is Trump Moon, just right there.
My favorite.
And then it pans to Yachi. She looks like she has to pee. She's just standing outside the
oh yeah, she's like doing her little like.
Yeah, I'm like, does she have to pee? Why can't she just go in there?
It was actually outside the EMT booth.
Oh,
it was outside first aid.
Why did I think it was a bathroom? Anyways,
I don't know, but I'm really confused as to why they took Suki to the
maybe
bathroom.
Maybe it's because Suki's brother was covering his crotch. I thought he had to pee too.
Okay, that to me, the fact that I could talk for like 2 minutes about how dumb that is, that's sad to me.
Someone in the storyboarding room had to get that in there.
Yep.
So, they're in that EMT booth.
I can't unpicture. But he looks so uncomfortable too, and it's just like oh my
and
god.
Kyoko's right there.
That's right, yeah,
like, no.
that's yep.
No. The flashbacks from the training camp start like flying through Suki's mind, and he's getting all these moments of people telling him this is why they love volleyball, and basically telling him like, let's go for another round, you know? Like, he's surrounded by these people that are amazing players that have really taught him over time to love volleyball.
Yeah.
And it's just firing off in Suki's head, and it's like he wants to go out into the game even more. And I think Kyoko even says it. She's like, he seems so calm, but I know tons of things are going through his head right now. And I love that direction of putting you in the mind of Suki for the first pretty much half of this episode. Mm-hmm. So this was like before he came back. I know in the episode before they show him running into it, but this was like kind of giving a backstory while he was out of the game. So he's finally on the court, and the banter between Suki and Kageyama seems more friendly now. It's obviously still sassy and like jab here and there, but it's obviously more of a friendship.
Yeah,
or teamwork.
Yeah, the semi-friendship that they have is probably the biggest development out of any friendship on that team. I know a lot of people want to say Kageyama and Hinata, but Kageyama and Hinata really had their development very early on.
Yeah.
I think Hinata was kind of Kageyama's first friend in a lot of ways, but to see him and Tsukishima even remotely be able to handle a conversation is shocking.
Yeah. So, and he keeps thinking like, I'm not Hinata. Like, he's still thinking that in his head. Mm-hmm. And obviously you aren't. You're blonde and whatever.
You're blonde and a beanpole.
Yeah.
Like a giant French fry.
So Asahi's up to serve, and everyone's excited about it. And maybe I haven't paid attention when Asahi serves, but I didn't know why.
He's been practicing his jump serve this entire season.
Cool. It just completely went over my head. But I was like, cool, Asahi's up to serve. I guess it's good.
You're like, I don't know, he's only like the most powerful guy on the team.
Honestly. But serving's a lot different than like spiking, you know?
It is, yeah, it's...
So that was interesting to watch. Suki just one-touched Ushijima spike and it hit his finger again. I was like, oh my god, why are you on the court right now? Like, I'm glad because you're a good player, but like, you're gonna lose your hand. Honestly. If you keep trying to block these cannon arm spikes, but he doesn't care. He's like, I one-touched it, that's good enough for my team, you know?
Yeah, he did what he needed.
Whoever's idea it was to focus on Suki's thought process throughout this last set is a genius.
Frittata.
Amazing. You're amazing. I've always wondered what Suki was thinking and how he sort of thinks, because he's very smart and calculated with everything.
Completely opposite of Hinata and Kageyama, who are all instinct-based.
Yeah. And I think Nishinoya is kind of the same way as Suki a little bit, and that's interesting that they focus on those two.
Yeah.
When it comes to receiving Ushijima spikes, because like it takes someone that's calculated to, you know, receive it. Because I mean, you can't just be like, I mean, Hinata receives it, but I can't go that far.
Does
edit that out?
Yeah, Nishinoya is interesting because I think he's a healthy combination of volleyball instinct and volleyball IQ. You know, it's
yeah.
He's an interesting one for sure.
Although he does exude the most crackhead energy. He is very smart.
10 out of 10 crackhead energy.
Yeah. Everyone's hitting their legs because they're losing energy. Like, simple as that.
They're cramping up, man.
Yeah. That's dedication right there. They want this, and I don't blame them. Like, this is the home stretch right here.
Yeah, they fought to get this far for sure.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they're at a deuce. This deuce? Yeah, so they're at a deuce. What's new? Like,
happens every time.
Yeah. But we learned one more point, and Krasno can actually win this. That was kind of insane to me to hear that, because, like, what? It's Krasno. Like, I'm just thinking where they were in Season 1, even in the beginning of Season 2, and where they are now. Even in the beginning of Season 3, like, they didn't even think they were going to beat him. Or Shiro Torizawa.
I like how the focus is so much on Ushijima.
It is.
Like, it really is. It does feel like Krasno versus Ushijima at times.
And later on, I think it's Yukai that actually says Ushijima has scored 40 points already for Shiro Torizawa.
How crazy is that?
That is like...
That is a one-man wrecking ball right there.
Yeah.
That is fucking crazy.
But going back... having Oikawa react to Krasno is kind of amazing to watch, because he's picking sides pretty much. He wants Ushijima to lose, but then he also wants Kageyama to lose. So he's like, which one do I want to lose more? You know?
I think when it comes to Oikawa, if he's gonna pick sides, he has to choose between the guy he could never beat versus his protege. Like, even if he doesn't want to admit it, Kageyama even says everything that he knows about volleyball, he learned through Oikawa. Yeah. So there's a pride aspect in that. And I think Oikawa, seeing Kageyama succeed, even if you won't admit it because he's a little petty bitch sometimes, is like seeing his student succeed. So
you are exuding Iwaizumi energy right now. Like, excellent. You could... I don't know.
I'm leaving that in. I'm exuding Iwaizumi energy right now.
Because that's literally what he tells Oikawa. He's like, you're being a little,
shitty Kawa. Shitty Kawa. You really are a shitty guy. I think he even says that to him.
But Oikawa says...
You really are a piece of shit is what it says. Sorry, continue. That's his best friend, and that's how he talks to him. I love it. I love Iwaizumi.
But Oikawa says Krasno doesn't have a specific playstyle. They're more sporadic. Their playstyle's more sporadic and flexible than... pretty much all the other teams we've seen.
Definitely.
Which is insane to me, because that means that they can mold themselves to whatever team they're playing against. Mm-hmm. And we've seen that through these episodes this whole season against Ushijima. I forget who says it, but I think it's Yukai. He says, confusion is key.
Sounds like a Yukai quote.
I think, yeah, it is, because this is the point where Krasno, I mean, they've already found their groove, but Suki's back. Nishinoya's been in it the whole time. So, and I think this is the point where Hinata kind of runs up and they do, I think it's a synchronized attack again. And the reason why it works so well is because it's confusing. You never know who's going to spike the ball. There's a quote from Daichi. He says, our forte is our teamwork. So let's win together. Best captain you could ever ask
love
for.
Daichi. Daichi truly is a great leader. I've said it a million times. Daichi does not get enough love.
Going back to episode 6, season 3, like literally 2 episodes ago.
This felt like a lot longer than that.
They are the foundation of Krasno. They were there when no one else was there. Ushijima's up to serve! But Ushijima's up to serve, and they take like a minute to be like, oh my god, he's up to serve, oh my god. And then he serves, and boom, it takes like a millisecond, and he scores Shiro Torizawa another point.
He's just so overwhelming. Like, his presence is so overwhelming.
Like, he's not aggressive.
No, he's very... what I like about Ushijima's competitiveness is it's his competitiveness is very obvious, but only if you understand sports. It's a different kind. You know, we're used to seeing people like Oikawa who talks a lot of crap. Ushijima doesn't talk crap. He just plays good. And that's how he rubs it in your face. He's just powerful. Who would win in a fight, the Diamonds or Ushijima? The Diamonds.
Ushijima.
Ushijima.
He just spikes the ball like...
Who really shattered Pink Diamond? Ushijima.
Oh my god. The AD colorized. I have to Photoshop that when I get Ushijima is a fool for volleyball. He can float too, just like Steven.
He's just hanging out.
He's just floating there, and Yachi's like, oh my god, I didn't know it was possible. And I'm like, that's Steven. He's literally Steven. Like, I found another parallel between these two shows.
Can you imagine how different these shows would be if Steven had Ushijima's personality and Ushijima had Steven's personality?
I would have loved to see that.
Oh my god.
I don't think Garnet would be the main, like, mother. I think Steven would be his own mother.
Oh my god. It's almost like he is his mom.
You are your
mom.
Oh my god, the intensity is through the freaking roof right now. What? I think you have Suki. It pans to Suki's face, and he's just like, man, I want this more than anything, but, like, are we gonna do it? Like, how are they gonna beat Ushijima? Hinata just got shot down. I found that scene so funny. That's really dark of me, but, like, I think it was Yachi who was noticing, or no, it wasn't Yachi. It was someone on Karasuno noticed Hinata after getting shot down. He's just, like, staring at the net, and his back's toward the camera. It's like, oh my god, that's hilarious. Oh, get wrecked. Could have been their game, but he got shot down. I don't know how long I'm going to stay on this, but he doesn't have time to think about it. He has to keep his head in the game.
Yeah, that's the thing about sports, is that you can't let those failures get to you, because you have to be thinking positive the very next serve, the very next pitch, the very next down, whatever, you know?
Yeah. Nishinoya with the double...
The receive.
Yeah, the double receive.
Oh, man,
what?
That scene...
And
oh
it's like, God. It happens in like 2 seconds.
It's crazy. Like, holy crap.
He receives the ball. I think it's from Ushijima, right?
Yeah.
And then it goes up again, and then someone else spikes it. It might have been Ushijima again.
I think it was Ushijima again.
And then boom.
Oh, man. Jesus.
And everyone on Karasuno is looking at him like, oh, how do we have time to react right now? The ball's falling on the ground as we speak. If he doesn't go pro after this, I'm rioting.
Yeah, man, Nishinoya.
Like, that right there should have made world news, honestly.
It's like breaking news. CNN breaking
news. Nishinoya with the double receive.
Nishinoya Yu, a high school volleyball player in Japan during the Miyagi Prefectural tournaments, had a double receive.
But here we go. We're in total offense rotation. Super weak for Karasuno, but it's perfect for Hinata.
Yeah, because Hinata can do his job, being the decoy.
Yeah. So Yukai's like, well, I mean, at this point, we're willing to risk anything to get another point. But no. So I think Karasuno ends up scoring a couple points. And at this point, Shiro Torizawa, like, it's just neck and neck this whole time. One side keeps getting 2 points, the other side keeps getting 2 more points. Anyone's game, literally. So I think at this point, Karasuno had 2 points up. They had a point above Shiro Torizawa, but from where they were at, it took them 2 points to get there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so Shiro Torizawa was at match point, and then
Karasuno was a little bit below.
Well, they would have been one below.
They're
at match point, and then they brought it back up to a deuce, and then brought it up to match point for Karasuno.
Exactly.
Got it.
I'm just bad at explaining.
Yeah, no, it's fine. That's what I'm here for, to make your words make sense.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I think Taichi does something with the ball, and the camera angles, the music intensifies, and I'm like, something's gonna happen. Yeah, oh, that's what it was. So Suki ends up effortlessly read blocking a quick attack from Taichi. Mm-hmm. What a god. On to episode 10. So Hinata at this point has reached, I believe it's called minus tempo. And this is what he learned going back to season 2 in the training camp with old coach Yukai. Again, I've said it a million times, but they do an amazing job bringing back things into the show from seasons ago.
I like that they remind us of where it came from, because otherwise you'd forget.
Yeah.
So, thank you for reminding us.
The fact that old coach Yukai is there just makes it even better to watch.
Yeah.
Like, his training or his teaching has paid off. So, on to episode 10. This is called A Battle of Concepts. That it is. Instantly, Hinata is six-packed in the face by Ushijima.
Ouch.
What? Okay.
Isn't that the second time he's been hit in the face?
If Suki's finger got dislocated, like, your face has to be dislocated.
R.I.P. Hinata.
R.I.P.
Steven's not here to bring you back to life, so you can't die.
Yeah, and turn you pink.
Oof. Can you imagine a pink Hinata?
Oh no, Ushijima wants this badly.
Yeah, Ushijima's competitive.
Yeah. Hinata really brings out a side of him that no one else can.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to me because here you have this really short, not that size has anything to do with it, but in volleyball it does. So you have Hinata, this short guy, who's just all fired up. It's weird to me that he brings out a side of Ushijima that no one else has been able to do. Do you care to explain?
Yeah, it has everything to do with what was talked about in previous episodes where Ushijima just thinks Hinata talks a lot of crap for someone that can't back it up. And that he doesn't like that. He likes people that are... I think he likes people like him who are just quiet and they leave everything out on the court. And for Hinata to talk as much crap and boast as much as he did without any real... nothing to back it up. Like, at that point, Karasuno had lost to Aoba Josai, who had never been able to beat Shiro Torizawa. And now Ushijima's probably pissed that he has to be playing against Hinata instead of Oikawa. He's probably a little annoyed.
Top 10 anime betrayals.
For real.
Imagery. Ushijima's holding down Karasuno.
That is my favorite
with all
imagery.
of his... Honestly, like...
You feel it. Oh,
that animation deserves an award. Like, that...
Yeah.
2-minute animation alone deserves an award.
Yeah, seeing him just holding down Tsukishima and Hinata... like they were nothing.
Yeah.
It just shows what it felt like for them. They were being crushed under the overwhelming power of Ushijima.
You have this almost like a monster just holding down an entire team. Like, you will not win. But they break out of it, luckily.
They break out of it because their senpais are the ones that really pull Ushijima off of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daichi's
the first one to really kind of start, which is, it's so symbolic because it goes to show like how important that team is.
Yeah.
You know, Ushijima was the backbone of Shiro Torizawa and they relied on him too much. Karasuno had 6 not necessarily amazing players, but good players on the court that were able to come together and get Ushijima off of them.
It's sort of that like one versus many type concept.
That's my favorite imagery in the whole show.
Yeah, mine too, easily. Shortly after that, Kageyama receives a cross-path spike from Ushijima.
With his forearms.
That's
another one of my favorite receives. There's a lot of good receives in this one.
He knew he was going to have to receive that ball. So there's a point where you see him push Hinata out of the way a little bit before this receive.
Yeah, he like yeets him completely off the screen.
And Suki knew that too. Mm-hmm. And I think they talked in between that little break they got, right when they got to that deuce.
Mm-hmm.
This deuce? Hinata goes up to spike the ball. And I'm going to attempt to read a quote by old Coach Yukai. It took him 30 seconds to say...
So it's going to take Isaac a minute.
Yeah, so he says, volleyball is a sport where height advantage can take you far. Naturally, the taller the player, the stronger they are. However, it is also strength to perfect your individual skill. New defenses, attacks, and setups are born in the fray, which makes this great sport ever evolving. Strength can come in many forms. There is no reason to not believe that advancement and revolution will come in the future, and it has never been more true. And then Hinata spikes that frickin' ball, and then there's just silence. I forget which player it was, but someone on Shiro Torizawa's team receives the ball, but it goes way out of the court. And I don't even think anyone tries to receive it then, you know?
Like it was too far away.
Yeah. And you just see it slowly.
Boop, 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 boop. The stunned silence of everyone like, the fuck just happened?
And literally you don't hear anything. And then the first sound you hear after like 10 seconds of silence is the referee just going...
Yep.
Like Karasuno's game. They won.
They did it.
What? They're going to nationals.
They're going to nationals.
They beat Shiro Torizawa.
Yep.
This team that has been hyped up since pretty much season 1.
Yeah, Shiro
They
Torizawa,
laid it out.
This is the thing with Haikyuu. They kind of shot themselves in the foot with this. They did such a good job of hyping up both Aoba Josai and Shiro Torizawa that it's almost like no other team that follows, even though they're going to nationals, could possibly be as hype, is what you're thinking. They're like, there's no way the next team they face is going to be anywhere near as scary feeling as Shiratorizawa. Because they have spent... You didn't even see them. They hyped them up, like, even Ushijima, you only saw him briefly in Season 2. The team itself, you didn't know anything about them until this season. And they're gone.
All the cries, all the tears.
All the tears.
And then they go, thank you for the game. And you're like, oh, they did it. You can finally breathe.
Yeah.
At this point. They can finally breathe. I mean, how long was this whole game? That was like... so this is a quote from Oikawa. He's looking at Ushijima, and Ushijima doesn't really react to him losing. And Oikawa says, at least try to look sad. Ushiwaka, you are an emotionless bastard. I was like, perfect. Get pissed. I just want Ushijima to walk up and just slap Oikawa and walk back down. He goes up like 3 steps at a time.
Just runs out there.
I feel like Oizumi would love that.
Oizumi would probably hit Oikawa as well, just for fun.
At the same time.
I would probably kill
Oh my god.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, because Oizumi's a spiker too.
He's a beast.
Oh my god.
He's an absolute fucking unit of a man.
Unit. Kageyama knew he was going to take that receive. This is where you learn that he's going to take that receive. And it puts it into perspective how smart players on Crossno are, you know?
Yeah, they kind of... The show kind of portrays them as idiots in a way. That sounds so mean, but they
Not
do.
idiots, but
like instinct-based.
Yeah.
And very chaotic. But the truth is that they are thinking when they're out there playing. All of them are.
Like Oikawa said, their playstyle is very, very sporadic but flexible.
Yes.
And then they say, thank you for coming.
Yui, I'm so glad you came.
Yeah, Yui creams when Daichi holds up the good luck charm. I think if she didn't cream before in the show, this is the moment.
That's the moment.
Nishino, you're talking about Daichi's thigh splitting is peak IQ. He's like, your thighs are gonna split. It's okay. There's a really sad moment, and it doesn't matter which team you want to win. This is sad for anyone that loses. Like, this is the Nationals game. This is the game that determines who's going to Nationals, you know? So it's just sad all around, whether you hated that team or loved that team. And there's a moment where Shiratorizawa's walking out of the court. They say a few things, you know, like we lost type thing. And then silence. And then all of a sudden you just see tears and the whimpering. And it's like, they lost, you know. They're having to deal with this tremendous loss. Like, they haven't really lost before, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's interesting. Their coach comes up to them, smacks them on the back, and says, get on the bus when we get home, or like back to the gym. They're going to practice type thing.
Yeah.
He says 100 serves for everyone. And Bad Bangs number 2 just looks at the ground and is like...
Bad Bangs too.
I forget his name. What's his name? Gochiki?
Goshki.
And then Tendo and Ushijima are on the floor doing this weird stretch.
If you've never done that stretch before, you should. It's very good.
So they're doing this stretch, and they're talking, and Tendo ends up revealing that he's quitting volleyball after high school. It's confirmed that Tendo is Ushijima's friend.
Yeah.
By Ushijima himself.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Ushijima
finally opening up about friendship. And then there's that scene where Crossno is like, oh my god, we did it. And it's showing where everyone's at. And this is sort of, I got a flashback to, I think it's the Wakunan game. Mm-hmm. When Inoshida's in the bathroom and he's like, I'm so bad. Suki has that same moment after this game.
Yep.
He's like, I only stopped one spike. Why would he think that about himself? And Tadashi's like, you are not worthless. Like,
Tadashi blows
stop.
up. First fight ever in their entire... Second fight. Second fight in their relationship.
Which brings us to the ship episode.
Yeah.
We're going to Spring Nationals.
Hey!
As the crowd roars. Crossno's on their way back, but they stop to get food. It's an amazing minute-long scene. Everyone's happy. Takada's freaking drunk out of his mind. He's like, I just love you guys. You're like, oh my god.
And you guys like, think you've had enough.
Yeah. And Kyoko is in the background, like, saying sorry to the cook, and is like, It's just, it's an amazing scene. But they get back to school the next morning. The bandwagoners are in full force. Oh my god.
Now, yep.
They are out of the woodworks. They're...
Suddenly, everyone's been training for Karasuno this whole time. Stupid bandwagon fans.
Where were they in season 1?
Yeah, where were you guys?
Bayachi's working on a volleyball club poster. She's also inspiring other girls, possibly, to join.
Wow.
Wow.
Yachi
went from this nervous, anxiety-ridden character to Queen Bee.
She used to be townsperson bee, now she's Queen Bee.
Literally. Still with anxiety, but Nekoma and Fukurodani are in the top 4, though. That's revealed by Hinata.
Yes. In Tokyo. Top 4 in Tokyo.
Tokyo
has more than one rep because they're so much bigger.
Yeah.
So.
Kind of want to see that. I know Land vs. Sky just came out.
Yeah, Nekoma... I think all of Nekoma and all of Karasuno more or less want to face each other.
I mean, from the beginning, that was like their first true rival.
Yeah, they've been rivals for so long because of Nekomata and Yukai. And
they're all part of that dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire. I think it goes to show, though, that some of those teams have really bought into the legacy of their schools. You know, Kuro's a good example. He really... Kenbo wants to face Hinata because they made a promise to each other that they wouldn't. And I think he's just really interested in Hinata. But both like Kuro and Daichi, I'm sorry. Whatever. He is. I'm not even gonna. Never mind. I'm not taking it back. Okay, that's the truth. Anyways, but like you got like Kuro and Daichi, and they both really believe in the legacy of Karasuno and Nekoma, and they want to see that come to fruition for sure.
Yeah.
So.
It literally ends. The season ends with him saying, "I want to face Nekoma one more time."
Yep.
And that's it. It's just over.
It's done.
But the ending screen is amazing. It's that same music from this whole season's outros, but it goes through that whole like fall leaves looking background. It's amazing.
Yep.
10 out of 10. Would watch again.
Excellent.
If anyone is out there and they're thinking, can't get into the show, I'm going to be honest, the first 10 episodes of season 1, a little hard to get into, but if you just stick with it, it gets better. It just keeps getting better.
It literally does. Like, every episode is better than the episode before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree, though. I understand people that have a tough time getting into it, but once you get into season 1, like, truly into it, you're not gonna let go. I promise.
I don't think I've said it enough, but Suki is, I think, the best player on Karasuno.
Wow.
I'm gonna say it.
That's high praise. But, yeah, Tsukishima, he's grown a lot. Everyone's grown a lot.
Yeah. But literally, figuratively, volleyball-wise, you know.
I'm just glad the third years got the chance to go to nationals.
Yeah.
That's what this was really all about, was the third years. Everyone else has other opportunities, but these guys needed to make it.
Yep.
So, anyways, we did it.
We done did it. I did it.
You did it. I still have some Steven Universe to watch. So this podcast isn't over yet, and we did receive a request to do a ship episode for Haikyuu. Yes, we will do that. If you guys have anything you want us to talk about or an episode you want us to do, you just gotta tell us and we'll do it, guys. Like, that's what we're all about.
Yeah.
For the fan that asked about the ship episode, yes, we are going to record a ship episode just for you. Yachi?
Jackie's dog's very excited about the ship episode.
Yachi is very excited about the ship episode. But yeah, so look forward to that, and thank you all for listening. We will be back for more Steven and some more. We'll find some Haikyuu stuff to watch. We'll see you guys next episode. My name's Jackie. I've been watching Steven Universe.
My name's Isaac, and I've been watching Haikyuu.
And my dogs are Yachi and Bolin, and they've been making a lot of noise. So, we'll see you next week. Bye! Hey guys, it's Jackie.
And Isaac.
From Nonessential Media.
We just want to thank you guys so much for listening, and if you'd like, feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel or our Patreon.
And we want to hear from you guys. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you're watching along with us and what your thoughts are.
You can find us on Twitter at NonessentialM.
We're on Facebook as Nonessential Media.
We're also on Instagram at Nonessential Media.
Check out our website, nonessentialmedia.com.
So check us out.
Thanks again for listening. We truly appreciate every single one of you.
See you guys next Saturday for a new episode of Beach City CROWS. Bye. Skibbly babbly bab.